With the stroke of a pen, the U.S. president tries to put an end to the child separation crisis that he created. No word yet, however, on what's planned for the kids already separated from their parents.
Vodka feels very strongly. My wife feels very strongly about it. I feel very strongly about it.
Joining me now is Peter Mathews, a professor of political science at Cypress College. Peter, Donald Trump has taken plenty, and I mean plenty, of controversial decisions in the first year and a half of his presidency. Usually the criticism really doesn't bother him. In fact, usually he doubles down. So why did he change his mind on this?
Because this was beyond the pale, Cyril. It certainly appeared that way to a lot of his own supporters. And he had to change his mind because he was concerned that if he didn't, there'd be a huge backlash at the polls in November, and his Republican Congress could disappear and become a Democratic one, which also means he could face impeachment more readily. And I think that he did it on a practical reason. He seemed to be missing a moral compass and making it an ethical decision. He made a more practical political decision from all the words that he's uttered so far. It seems that way.
So Peter, that's interesting because I can't count the number of times on this show, in this studio, I have asked, is this the issue that could cost Donald Trump some votes? You know, time after time, and controversial issue after controversial issue. And you're telling me of all the issues, it's the one that he actually campaigned on so hard, which is synonymous with Trump. It's being tough on immigration.
That was for his own election in 2016, and he needs that in 2020 perhaps, because he can hold on to that base while the opposition could splinter if there's more than one candidate in the presidential election. But in the congressional election in November, he's got to worry about one-on-one matches, a Democrat versus Republican usually. And the Democrats are winning big time on this issue because they're on the right side of the whole issue. And many voters, and many Republican voters are also against the president on detaining children. That is beyond the pale for most Americans. 66% oppose that. And the largest number, majority of Republicans
are in favor.
No, not of the, as far as the poll that I saw, it was 56% who were against the detention of children, the separation of children, and about 30-something% were for it, in the upper 30s.
Now, Donald Trump blames, as he often does, the Democrats. Listen to this.
Democrats don't care about the impact of uncontrolled migration on your communities, your schools, your hospitals, your jobs, or your safety. Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on?
So that worked for candidate Trump, clearly. Do you think it will continue to work for President Trump? You started talking about this.
No, it won't. I'm looking at the polling numbers and the public opinion, and the vast majority of Americans, 66%, are against this policy of his, and they want to see a humane settlement of the immigration issue and to get at the bottom of it by helping the immigrants resettle here and to basically give them a chance to come in from the cold and come out of the shadows and start working again, as was done under President Reagan in 1986 or so. And you got to also look at who's the architect of this, Cyril. There's a man named Stephen Miller, a very high-level advisor to President Trump, especially on this issue. Stephen Miller grew up in Santa Monica, California, in my neighborhood, actually. It was a school that he went to in Santa Monica where he had a friend in the 6th grade and 9th grade named Jacob Islas, as reported in the New York Times. Islas came out publicly, mentioned this even during the election campaign, that Stephen Miller, who's attaining high status now in the presidency's advisory board, Stephen Miller told Islas, who was a Latino, look, we've been friends for several years now. We're in 9th grade now. I can't be your friend anymore because you're Latino. So look at the kind of racist-tinged advisors that he has. Not to mention Corey Lewandowski's outrageous comment about womp regarding a Down syndrome young child who's an immigrant. It was horrible. Look at the people that he's surrounding himself with. This is very clear as to where this is coming from.
Hey, quick thing. I double-checked. The CNN poll says actually that a majority of Republicans approve of this practice of separating families. So I know there are different polls out there. I just want to point out that the CNN one says majority of Republicans were actually in favor of this. Now, Trump says that the Republicans, his administration, are going to fix the immigration system. Listen to this now.
This has been going on for 60 years. 60 years, nobody's taken care of it. Nobody's had the political courage to take care of it, but we're going to take care of it. But it's been going on for a long time.
Okay, well, you know what? Republicans are in control of Congress. They have the White House and they have Congress. So are they going to pass a law?
I really doubt it. We'll see tomorrow when they get to vote on both laws, and Trump hasn't even come out firmly for one of those two laws or not. And I don't think they can agree on it because the right wing of the party is against giving any kind of help to the DACA students who want to stay here and be treated legally, and the moderate wing wants to give help to them in exchange for the funding of a wall of $25 billion. Not even one Democrat will vote for that. And the Republicans need in the Senate 60 votes in order to prevent a filibuster. So this is going to be very interesting. So I don't think it's going to pass tomorrow, but we'll have to wait and see.
Peter Mathews, always great to get your insights. Peter joining us from Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.